Welcome to the University of Concordia in Irvine side of today's CCL matchup, and doesn't it feel good, Riptide fans, to just sort of sit back and watch as this team coasts into the playoffs, clinching a spot in the CCL playoffs yesterday. And yesterday was actually a big day for the Riptide because I actually found something online. They are ranked nationally, everybody. Top 30 in the nation, officially 18th, 2 spots ahead of the next closest CCL team, the Santa Barbara Foresters. But of course, the Foresters are not going to be part of the CCL playoffs. They're headed to the National Baseball Congress since they won that last year. The dates fall on the same time, so they will not be heading to the CCL playoffs, and that bodes very well for the Orange County Riptide. A lot of people thought the Foresters were going to be their biggest competition, but without them, they might be able to blow through this, and that might be bad news for Mitch Andrews, who earlier in the year said, he promised me, he said, if we win this championship, I'll get a tattoo of the Riptide on my bum. I'll do that. First pitch from Cortina, swung on and drilled into left field, giving chase is Shaw. Moving toward the line, he gets to it, cuts it off. It's going to be a leadoff, a one-pitch single by Grand Gamble. So very quickly, the first hit of the ball game. Not how Juan Cortina was hoping to start this, but Gamble, one of the better Legends hitters, average-wise at least. He makes good contact as well. Different lineup than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, Daniel Zimmerman was leading off. Grand Gamble was in the 2 spot. So the 1 and 2 today were the 2 and 3 yesterday. First pitch to the 2 spot, Giovanni Garbella, outside 1-0. Also, the cleanup man, Trevor Steinman, he's not in. Neither is Jake Scott or Joe Capris. So an entirely different lineup being brought out by the Legends, hoping that they can just cause a little bit of misfortune in the Riptide schedule. Of course, the Riptide are looking for the season sweep. They've won the first 3, looking for the 4th. Giovanni Garbella faces a 1-1 count. Juan Cortina from St. Edward's University. He's on the mound, just checks over on Gamble. Gamble, good wheels. You got to be wary of him. And of course, Giovanni Garbella, least amount of strikeouts for the most amount of games, ratio-wise, on this Legends team. So that's how you want to build a lineup. You got speed leading off, and then somebody who can push him over, batting second. Then you got your power guys, and Richie O'Reilly and Jake Sahagian have proven over the course of the year, and especially during their games against the Riptide, that they have good pop and could possibly cause a lot of damage. 2-1 pitch was up high with the fastball. Now we're in the hitter's count, 3-1. Let's go through the entire lineup for the Legends today. Of course, Gamble led off, and Garbella is at the plate. He swings and fouls with this one off and stuck the landing into the chain link fence. 3-2, it's full. In the 3 spot's going to be Richie O'Reilly, followed by Jake Sahagian, Robbie Barham, Zach Chan, and then Connor Montgomery and Luke Deviney to round things out. The Legends have sort of befallen a little bit of injustice among them. They're a good team, but they've become victim to a lot of injuries and a really short-staffed team, at the very least. There's a hard line drive into center field. Giving a little reach was Bo Phillip, but he wasn't going to be able to get it. It was hit too hard. So 2 straight singles to lead off this ball game for the Legends, and there's going to be 2 on and no one out for Richie O'Reilly. Something about the Riptide lineup coming into today. Joey Parente is in center for the first time in quite a while. Normally we see Dominic Fletcher there. In fact, Fletcher has only sat out in 3 games since he got to the Riptide. This being his first game where he's not in the field, but he is still in the lineup. He will be DHing today, and he'll be in the 3 spot where he normally sits. First pitch was a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. Richie O'Reilly coming into today with an average 280. 4 doubles, 6 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch is another fastball. Nice stop there by Andrews behind the plate. Picked it just off the dirt, kept the runners at first and second. Counts even at 1-1. Infield lined up to double play depth. Logan Polson, the first baseman, very close to the line and right. And the 1-1. Check swing there, he held up. It was down low, looked like a breaking ball, 2-1. This is the most dangerous part of the Legends lineup, as it should be for most of the teams. The top of your lineup being able to manufacture runs with table setters, followed by guys that have good power or the ability to get hits and find a lot of holes to push them over and drive them in. But the Legends, their lineup really seems to drop off when they get to the later parts. And that has a lot to do with the fact that they have had so many injuries and that a lot of people have had to go back home due to personal reasons. Here's a ground ball to Connor Beck at third. He's going to tag the lead runner and not going to try at first to get O'Reilly. So they get the lead man, Grand Gamble, trying to take third. There will be one out and still runners at first and second, but instead of Gamble at second, it's going to be Garbella. So now the cleanup man, Jake Sahagian. Yesterday we saw Sahagian in right. Today he's going to be at first base. He's normally an infielder, but due to the vast amount of just unfortunate events that have happened to the Legends, they've had to change a lot of positions among people. For example, Zach Chan, normally a second baseman, has to play shortstop, and yesterday played third. Now it's pretty apparent from what he was able to do. And Luke DeVinny, normally an outfielder, playing second base. So they've just had a lot of stuff that hasn't really gone their way, and they've had to adjust accordingly, and they've made themselves a decent season out of it. That just goes to show the resilience of this club. It's something you gotta respect. 1-1 is the count right now. And the delivery from Cortina is popped up just into shallow right. Giving chase is Gomez, but calling him off is Aaron Greenfield. No attempt to tag there from Garbella. It'll be 2 gone for the 5 spot, Robbie Barham. So those 2 leadoff singles might end up not causing any harm for the Riptide. Still, there's a runner in scoring position, but with Robbie Barham up with a 125 average, only 1 extra base hit in his 14 games played. Juan Cortina can possibly get out of this. First pitch, fastball at the knees, 0-1. Robbie Barham did not play yesterday. However, in the 2 games prior against the Riptide, he appeared in one of them. He went 0 for 3 with a walk. Second pitch, the hammer ends up across the plate, 0-2. Of course, this being the last home game of the regular season for the Riptide, looking forward to the playoffs. They will take on the Legends tomorrow, and that's going to be in Long Beach, though, so maybe not a season sweep just yet, but it will be 4 straight games. This one gets away from Andrews, and the runners will head up 90 feet. There'll be 2 in scoring position, but with 2 outs, doesn't make much of a difference. Juan Cortina just has to make sure he pays attention to the hitter. Don't let it get to you that there are people 90 feet away and 180 feet away. Just attack the hitter. You have a 2-strike count on him, just go after him. Now the infield moving away from where they were. Bo Phillip lined up more in the normal shortstop position prior to where he was. The 1-2, breaking ball, just low, deuces are wild. So they will take on the Legends tomorrow at Long Beach City College. Then they get 2 days off before their final game of the season in Ventura to take on the Halos. The Halos, of course, have been eliminated from playoff contention. This one's popped up on the right side over toward first base. Polson is giving chase, and he's going to try to make the over-the-shoulder and cannot get there in time. Count remains 2-2. So the season ends Wednesday in Ventura. And then the Riptide, they'll get a day off before heading to the MLB Youth Academy in Compton for the 3-game playoff sets. And the Riptide, of course, probably the hottest team in all of the CCL. 11 of their last 12 games have been wins. Swung on and missed by Barham. So first strikeout for Cortina. He wiggles his way out of a little bit of trouble. 2 leadoff singles, but no runs come across for the Legends. We head to the bottom of the first. Riptide get their first chance on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. So something a little funny happened in between innings here. Of course, we do pride our balls and we like to get them back. And of course, that ball is still stuck in the chain link fence. And Dominic Fletcher came out in between innings and tried to get it out. Gave it 2 tries and ended up actually launching another ball over the fence. So I gathered it and I gave it 1 throw. Had to chase that down again. That's why I might sound a little tired. I had to run back to the mic. First pitch to Parente. Down low, 1-0. Pitcher they're facing today is Scott Savage. Scott Savage has been serviceable for the Legends. Looking to cause a little bit of misery in the Riptide's fortune. Riptide looking to avoid that. Parente pops it up on the right side over toward the first base line. And making the catch is Jake Sahagian, who had plenty of time to make the catch. Fighting the sun a little bit there, but it's 1 away for the Riptide. But I promise you, at some point in this game, I will be the one who gets that ball down. I promise you. At some point, I will come back to the mic after a half inning, and I will say, I did it, everybody. It's like the sword and the stone, I feel like. That's how I've put it in my head. Whoever does it is worthy. Aaron Greenfield, the 2 spot. First pitch from Savage. Slider ended up low, 1-0. Greenfield has started in the last 4 games for the Riptide. He's really found his swing the past couple of games. He lines this one very hard, but straight at Luke DeVenny. A little bit unlucky there. Very hard, like a rocket off the edge of his bat. But there's 2 outs. So Dominic Fletcher will come up to the plate. DHing today, as I've mentioned. He was actually the only player on the Riptide lineup who had only played 1 position and not DH'd before today. There are only 2 players coming into today who had only played 1 position when they were in the field, and that was Dominic Fletcher and Mitch Andrews. Of course, Mitch Andrews catching today, that's where he's been all season. But Dominic Fletcher was the only player who had never DH'd and had only played 1 position. So that changes today. 1-0 is the count to the man from Arkansas. The Razorback takes another pitch. It's 2-0. Not to mention, a couple days ago, Fletcher actually shaved his beard. It was pretty intimidating for most of the season, but decided to get rid of that facial hair. And he looks pretty good to me. Made me wonder why he hadn't done that a little bit sooner. He check swung at that one. Flailed at it a little bit, 2-1. 2-1 is the count, and the delivery from Savage. Looked like a fastball just off the edge of the outside of the plate. Of course, 3-1 now. Fletcher, a left-handed hitter, going up against the righty Savage. Savage working at a very fast pace. It's fouled off straight back. This one does not end up stuck in the fence. 3-2. 2 outs, a pop out by Parente, and a line out, very hard hit by Greenfield. We could be in for a very quick bottom of the first, the 3-2. Slider that breaks backdoor curve there. Started outside the zone, broke in, taken by Fletcher. He froze him. So a very quick 1-2-3 to end the bottom of the first. We'll be right back with the second inning on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. So just like in most aspects of my life, I'm not the chosen one to get the ball down. went over the fence, and it seems like I failed at my mission. But still a scoreless ball game. The Riptide looking to keep it that way as we're in the top of the second. Legends are up to bat once again. Led off the top of the first with 2 hits off of Juan Cortina. But the first pitch to Zach Chan, the 7 spot for the Legends today, is in there, 0-1. The 0-1 delivery is another fastball. This time it's across the knees, 0-2. Cortina doing a good job thus far. Changing up his location. Hasn't really moved away from that fastball. Seems to be the only pitch he has total command over thus far. The 0-2 delivery from Cortina. Outside with a fastball, so maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. 1-2 now. Cortina, one of the few pitchers on the Riptide staff that actually works out of the windup when there's nobody on base or when there's a runner at third. When nobody can advance via the steal, you'll actually see Cortina go out of the windup, and it's actually something nice to see. Somebody who actually takes their time on the mound, just sort of waits a little bit of a longer setup. There's a changeup on the inside corner, called strike 3 on Zach Chan, playing shortstop today. They get him. So 2 straight strikeouts for Juan Cortina. That's going to bring up Connor Montgomery, the left fielder. Something about Connor Montgomery is that he's actually a catcher playing the outfield right now. That's another thing that has to do with the Legends' short staff. You take a look at the 2 benches between the two teams. They look even right now, and the Riptide have 9 players out in the field. Swung on and missed by Montgomery, 0-1. Cortina toes the rubber and fires a fastball up around the letters. Flailed out and missed once again, 0-2. So Cortina finds himself in the first 0-2 count, and he's had in quite some time. The 0-2 delivery. Another fastball. This time it's across the knees. He got him. Froze him there just like a pack of spaghetti you get at the supermarket. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just trying. So 3 straight strikeouts now, 2 to start off the top of the second. Number 9 spot, Luke DeVenny coming up to the plate. DeVenny had some at-bats yesterday. First pitch he sees here is a fastball up across the letters, 0-1. He's really been using that fastball to great effectiveness thus far. Yesterday, Luke DeVenny went 0 for 3, struck out once. He check swings at that one. They're going to say he did go around, so it's a quick 0-2. Cortina struggled in the first, and right here, he's barely thrown 10 pitches. That was the 10th pitch of the inning. He's looking to have possibly one of the quickest innings I've seen in quite some time, just 2 minutes if he gets him to swing. And he does get him to swing at the breaking ball in the dirt. The throw from Andrews to Polson is in time to get the final out of the inning. He strikes out the side. We head to the bottom of the second. Riptide have a chance to take the lead on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. We're in the bottom of the second here at the University of Concordia Irvine. Logan Polson to lead things off. He's in the cleanup spot today. One of the first times he's been in that spot since very early on in the season. Really got taken over by Jake Polson at the midway point. Dominic Fletcher and David Miranda have sort of been manning it as well. But Polson gets it today. He pops up the first pitch he sees over toward the right of home plate. Getting over toward it is Robbie Barham, but he has trouble tracking it and can't make the catch. 0-1. Logan Polson getting a little bit lucky there. Barham wasn't really fighting the sun either. I like to talk about where the sun is located. It's over toward the left of the field. That's where it always is at 4:30. At our 11:30 games, it's sort of right above the field and affects everybody on the pop-ups. But there, Barham heading to the right, not really had the sun in his eyes, just couldn't find the ball. 0-1 is the count right now to the lefty Polson. A long windup from Savage. Polson swings it once again. This time it's fouled off out of play. No chance for anybody to get it 0-2. Polson, 1 home run on the year, came in an extra inning game against the SoCal Catch. That was their 1 loss in their last 12 games. It was a huge home run. Everybody was excited. And he actually told one of his friends that he was going to hit a home run that day. And I'm not sure how many people believed it. Of course, Polson is a guy who you would expect a couple home runs, but wasn't able to get really his power stroke going at any point during the CCL season. But in the recent times, he's had a couple extra base hits, and of course that big home run that tied it up in the bottom of the 11th. So maybe he's finding that. 2-2. He swings and drills this one down the left field line into the Riptide bullpen foul. Count remains 2-2. Savage worked through a very quick first inning. Now battling against Polson, the 2-2. Fastball on the outside corner. Polson does not like that call. Stayed in the batter's box a little bit, but heads back to the dugout. Second strikeout. Second consecutive strikeout for Savage. Struck out Fletcher in the bottom of the first, and now he gets Polson in the first batter in the bottom of the second, and now Bo Phillip. Bo Phillip normally in the 2 spot, today in the 5 spot. He's got good power for a man his size. The right-hander takes the first pitch he sees. There's a 59-foot slider. 1-0. And the delivery from Savage, the 1-0. Fastball, this one's across the knees and on the outside corner, 1-1. 2 hits in the game for the Legends, both of them in the top of the first. It actually led off the game, and it looked like they might be able to score very early, but Cortina, nice job getting out of it, and a good defensive play by Connor Beck, of all people, at third. I say that because Connor Beck, a natural outfielder, hasn't spent a lot of time at third base, but he really showed off his stuff there, was able to get the lead runner and had a chance to get O'Reilly at first, but decided not to risk it. Phillip lifts this one out to right field. Montgomery makes the catch. Excuse me, that's Garbella out in right, and Montgomery's in left. Garbella makes the catch for out number 2. So looking for another 1-2-3. Savage has a chance against Tate Shaw. Shaw from the University of Texas has a couple teammates on this team. Parker Joe Robinson, among one of them. Of course, Robinson, the all-star, son of Jeff Robinson, the bench coach for the Riptide, and legendary Giants player. I say, for me, any Giants player is legendary. Just admire them all. Of course, a huge fan of that team. 1-0 is the count as that first pitch was in the dirt. And the 1-0 delivery. Swung on and lifted out to left field. Montgomery makes the catch to retire Shaw. So Shaw gets retired by his opposite position, and it's a quick 3-up, 3-down for Savage once again. He's retired the first 6 he's faced. We head to the top of the third. Cortina looking to match him on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. Juan Cortina is back out for his third inning of work. He's really done well despite giving up 2 hits to lead off the game. He's mowed his way through the rest of the lineup and has not allowed anybody to reach base since that instance. And he faces the top of the lineup here. Scott Savage is actually going to take some at-bats. The Legends decided to go without the designated hitter, so Savage, man on the mound, will take some hacks. He looks at the first pitch he sees. It was a fastball across the knees, 0-1. Let's go through the defensive alignment for the Riptide. I realized I should probably tell everybody that. From left to right, it's Shaw, Parente, and Greenfield. Over at the hot corner, Connor Beck. The 2 middle infielders are Bo Phillip and Paul Gomez. Phillip, of course, at short. Gomez at second. We've seen a lot of him at third and short recently. Savage takes the 0-2 pitch, a strikeout. Bat didn't even leave his shoulder, just sort of stood up there and wasted the arm of Cortina a little bit. Another strikeout, 4th strikeout of the day. So top of the lineup now, it's Grant Gamble. Gamble singled his last time up. He was one of those 2 that led off the game. He singled on the first pitch he saw. He swings at the first pitch he sees again, but fouls it off back into the glove of Andrews. 0-1 is the count, and the delivery from Cortina is inside this time with another fastball, 1-1. Over at first base, Logan Polson behind the plate is Mitch Andrews. He's in the squat, putting down the signs to Juan Cortina. Cortina deals the 1-1 down low with another fastball, 2-1. Something I mentioned about Parker Joe Robinson, he's from Texas, of course, his dad, bench coach and amazing Major League Baseball player. He's actually also the only player left in the entire California Collegiate League with an ERA of 0. That's a pretty phenomenal feat. That's why he was an all-star, and he's been able to keep that. Of course, tied for the team lead in saves with Will Tomlinson and Braxton Smith. The 3-1 is down low. 3-2. Count is full. Cortina, in his second full count of the afternoon, delivers a fastball just below the zone. For a second there, it looked like it was going to be his 5th strikeout of the game. So Giovanni Garbella is going to come up with a man on and only 1 gone. Garbella singled his last time up, a hard line drive into center field right past Bo Phillip at short. Phillip had a chance to get it, but didn't want to risk an injury. It was pretty far out of his reach. It definitely would have been a 5-star catch, and the whole catch probability that's going around the major leagues nowadays, I have no idea how they calculate it, but if I had to guesstimate that one, maybe 2% if he dove and gave it a good shot. Didn't want to risk anything. The 0-1. Way inside. Garbella turned away, but it did not run in and hit him. Almost grazed his jersey, but it's 1-1. Man on first, Grant Gamble. Gamble on the season. Got a couple of steals. Not somebody you should slouch on when he's on base. Count is even, 1-1. Cortina from the stretch. Kicks and fires. A breaking ball ends up on the outside corner, 1-2. Gamble has 4 steals on the year. He's been caught once. That's a pretty good ratio, 80%, of course. Catchers usually throw out approximately 33% of runners, 33 to 40. The best of the best in the business, Yadier Molina, at the height of his career, threw out 60% back in 2008. A pitch out there, Gamble, nothing going though, so 2-2 counts even. So if you can steal bases at a clip higher than 67%, that's usually a pretty good ratio in Gamble. 4 for 5. It's not bad. The 2-2 is down low, gets away from Andrews, so Andrews is not going to, Gamble is not going to have to steal. Just waits for the 59-foot curveball to bounce away from Andrews. Good block to stop it from getting to the backstop, but could not keep it from bouncing away from him. 3-2. The first base is open, so they might be a little bit more willing to pitch around Garbella. But Richie O'Reilly is the man on deck. And O'Reilly is not somebody you want coming up with multiple people on base. 3-2 with 1 out. Man on second is Grant Gamble. A walk and a wild pitch have him there. Here's a hard line drive into center right at Dominic Fletcher. They're going to try to double him up, but Fletcher thinks a little bit wiser. Came up like he was about to fire, but instead just tosses it back in softly to Phillip, the cutoff man. and there's going to be 2 on. They will leave the man on second base. That was Joey Parente in center, everybody. I'm so used to saying Fletcher's name in center. I have to get used to this. This is a day after you clinch a lineup. Just sort of relax. You give people who've been really in the lineup every day a little bit of a breather. And, of course, Parente not in the lineup the past couple of days. He got his breather. He's in the lineup today and in center. And he hasn't lost the beat after all that time in right, it looks like. That was very hard hit, and it looked for a second like it was going to be way toward the wall or even more shallow. That's a tough one to read. If it has backspin, it's going to be toward the wall. If it has topspin, it's going to be a little bit more shallow, and Parente read that very well. Big leadoff for Gamble from second. The 0-1 is down low and away, a breaking ball 1-1. From right here, the 2 of them, Fletcher and Parente, look pretty much the same. They both have the same style, wearing the sunglasses above the bill of the cap. Only difference I see, and I should have noticed this immediately, Fletcher's a lefty, and Parente a righty. 2 of them very strong arms. 1-2 is the count right now. Richie O'Reilly looking to drive in that run from second. Base hit likely to do it. The righty Cortina deals. Breaking ball right down the third base line, fair. This will score 1. We'll see if O'Reilly tries for 2. The throw goes into second, and it is in time, but a nice slide from O'Reilly goes around the tag from Gomez, and he is in there safely. What a nice heads-up play by O'Reilly, and I want the Riptide to win, but got to respect. So the throw was in time. Gomez was expecting a head-first, straight-on slide from O'Reilly, and O'Reilly very aware of where the throw was going. It was to the inside, sort of toward the pitcher's mound, just threw his hand over toward the outside of the bag, slid past and was able to keep his hand on second base and stay safe. First pitch to Jake Sahagian is in there, strike 1. Sahagian got out his last time up. Here he check swings, and it goes off the knob of the bat. So they're going to say it's a foul ball, 0-2. And that's always one of the toughest things, I think, for a hitter. A ball runs in. You don't want to swing at it, but you start your swing because you think it might be a curve and break in, might be a two-seamer, break back toward the inside part of the plate. So you start your swing, and instead of taking one on the hands and heading down to first, and nobody, don't get me wrong, nobody wants to take a ball in the hands. In fact, there was a little debate going on a couple days ago on the MLB Network about whether or not you would want to take a slide cleats first at second base or a 90-mile-an-hour fastball off the kneecap. And nobody said they would want to take a fastball off the kneecap. But taking one off the knob isn't much better. It's just a strike. But he takes the 0-2 pitch, lines it the opposite way into left. The throw is going to go home. It's not going to be in time, and it's going to be tried to cut off by Cortina, who can't get it. But the runner stays at first, so a nice job by Cortina, making him stay at first, thinking that they didn't have much of a chance at home plate. So the nice slide from O'Reilly comes around to haunt the Riptide, as they have now doubled their lead up 2-0, both of the runs in this top of the third. What started with a quick strikeout against Scott Savage, followed by a walk and a wild pitch, has all of a sudden turned into 2 runs. There are 2 outs, but the Legends have had 2 2-out hits already. First pitch seen is fouled off to the right side by Barham, 0-1. Barham struck out his last time up, struck out to end the top of the first. It was the first strikeout for Cortina. He's gotten a bundle since then. Sahagian takes off. We'll have to head back to first after the 0-1 is fouled off once again. Pretty much the same exact spot, 0-2 now. So 0-2 is the count. Man at first is Jake Sahagian. The 0-2 from Cortina, swung on and missed by Barham, so Barham goes down for the second time today via the punch-out. Cortina found his way out of some trouble, limited the damage, but the Riptide find themselves down 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the third on the Orange County Riptide Network. Still looking for that first hit, still looking for the first base runner against Scott Savage. We'll be right back. Bottom of the third coming up. Riptide trailing 2-0. Find themselves down. Not a normal sight for the Riptide, but if history is any indication, they've been able to battle their way back from much bigger deficits. Mitch Andrews is going to be the first man up. Savage has set down the first 6 Riptide players he's seen, so faces 7, 8, 9 here. It's going to be Andrews, Beck, and Gomez. Andrews behind the plate today. Chase Sebi played in yesterday's game behind the plate. First pitch he sees, the big hammer ends up on the inside corner 0-1. Savage has made only one appearance batting for the Legends. He's appeared in 5 games prior to today for the Legends. Last 3 appearances have been via the start. Has not seen the Riptide thus far on the year. And in fact, in his second to last start against the SoCal Catch, there's a hard line drive into center field. Nice job by Andrews. Good piece of work there. Had a lot of spin on it as well. First hit of the ball game for the Riptide, and the first leadoff man on for the Riptide. And they have a chance to score some runs and maybe cut into that deficit. But against the SoCal Catch, that was 2 starts ago for Scott Savage. Went 7 innings, only gave up 1 earned run. And that's a very different than his last outing against the Arroyo Seco Saints, where he only got through 2 1/3 before giving up 10 runs. Only 4 of them earned, so his defense not helping him out much. Connor Beck swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. A slider outside corner. 0-1 is the count. Andrews does have a steal on the year, but not normally a threat to go. Connor Beck, normally an outfielder, playing third base today. We've seen him play third base at other points. Hasn't really been tested thus far. We've only seen him field 2 balls over at the hot corner, and both of them haven't been very hot, to say the least. However, in the top of the first, he did a nice job to tag out the lead runner. Had a chance to get Richie O'Reilly, who was heading down the line at first. Here he pops this one up on the infield. We'll see who gets it. And it's going to be O'Reilly who calls off the shortstop, Zach Chan, and makes the catch. Did a little bit of a pop-up dance, just leaned over to his left to make the catch and retire the first man of the bottom of the third. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Legends. No runs on 1 hit for the Riptide, and that one just happened. Mitch Andrews got the first piece of good wood on the ball. I can't say that. Aaron Greenfield did hit it very hard back in the bottom of the first, just right at Luke DeVenny. Paul Gomez is the man at the plate. First pitch he sees is a fastball right down Main Street, 0-1. Gomez has been one of the hottest bats in the Riptide lineup as of late. Had a couple hits yesterday. He's also been very good at getting on base, no matter what it is. Whether it's a fielder's choice, an error, or a walk, just any sort of way to reach base. It seems like Paul Gomez has accomplished it at some point. In fact, I did a thing the other day. Can't remember how many there were exactly, but it was every way to reach first base. And I looked at Paul Gomez's recent games, and he's been on base via 6 of them. And there were only a couple that he didn't get to first base via. And it was pinch runner. He has not come into pinch run. He has been hit by a pitch, but he has not gone on via catcher's interference. So those are the 2. Maybe we'll see those today, but the count is 1-2 right now. So you find himself in a little bit of a disadvantage. Looking to move Andrews over into scoring position for the top of the lineup. He swings and misses, flails at the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be a strikeout for Savage, and that's going to bring at the top of the lineup Joey Parente. So Parente will look to extend this inning. Last time up, popped out to the first baseman, looking to do the opposite of that, hit something hard on the ground possibly. Andrews will be running on contact, and it's pretty hard to get Parente at any point. The throw down to second is in time to get Andrews. A nice throw from Robbie Barham behind the plate. Ball got away from him, was able to corral and make a solid throw right to the glove of Zach Chan and tag Andrews. So an unconventional 3-up, 3-down. Parente only saw 1 pitch, and he'll be up in the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Still a 2-0 lead for the Legends. Stay tuned. So Cortina, after giving up 2 runs, stays out on the mound, has the pearl in hand, and will look to shut down and keep this deficit at 2 for the Riptide Bats. He's going to be facing 7, 8, 9 in the Legends lineup. That's Zach Chan, Connor Montgomery, and Luke Devaney. That's actually 6, 7, 8. I keep looking at this, and every lineup thus far in the season has had a designated hitter, but every time I look at it, I don't see a DH next to any of their names. So this is 6, 7, 8. Zach Chan took the first pitch, was a strike, takes the second pitch as well. Fastball pretty much in the same spot, 0-2. Just across the outside part of the plate. Last time Cortina pitched was against the SoCal Catch, went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. The Catch really surprised the Riptide in that series. The Riptide really shut them down in the first 3 games, and of course they were 2 3-game series. That's how the season has gone against the Catch. Here Chan pops it up over toward Polston, pretty much on top of the first base bag. He makes the catch and retires the first man. And that's kind of funny for Polston working over there. He could have dropped it, pretty much just picked it up, and then just stepped on first. Chan took no steps out of the batter's box, expecting it to go foul had Polston dropped it, but he was in fair territory, so not looking to be the case had he dropped it. So Connor Montgomery come to the plate. Montgomery struck out his last time up. Cortina has made 4 appearances for the Riptide. He gets Montgomery to pop up into shallow center field, and a very quick play by Gomez. Moves out there and makes the catch while moving backwards. Nice play. 2 outs. In fact, almost every outing has gotten longer for Cortina since he joined the Riptide. Went an inning and 2/3 against the Blues. 2 days later, 2 2/3 against the Saints. And then a week later, 5 1/3 against the Blues. Another fly ball out to Aaron Greenfield. Devaney can't get it to drop. And a very quick top of the 4th. I barely had any time to talk about anything else. Only 6 pitches needed to retire the 3 Legends batters. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th on the Orange County Riptide Network. Only 1 hit, but no runs across. They trail 2-0. We'll be right back. So after Mitch Andrews got caught trying to swipe second base, Barham a nice throw to get him out. Joey Parente will lead things off. Only 9 hitters faced by Savage. Looks to keep that going. Riptide looking to end that streak. Parente takes the first pitch he sees, a fastball just off the edge of the outside of the plate. 1-0. 3 teams have secured spots in the CCL playoffs thus far. The wild card spot has already been assured to the Neptune Beach Pearl. So it's going to be 2 teams from the north. Healdsburg Prune Packers currently first in the CCL standings, a half game ahead of the Riptide. They've played 1 more game, and it was a win. So yesterday, the Riptide had first place for a second, and then later in the day, the Prune Packers won their game, so they are back up top. And the Riptide looking to change that once again. A win today would put them in first place. The 2-1 delivery to Parente, low and away with a fastball, 3-1. Good eye from Parente. We're in the hitters count here. For a while, it looked like the CCL playoffs were all set. Parente takes the fifth pitch of the at-bat, a fastball up high. He'll take a leisurely stroll on down the first walk of the game given up by Savage. And for the second time in as many innings, the Riptide have the leadoff man standing on first. Aaron Greenfield will come up now. Probably the hardest hit ball we've seen from any Riptide player. Unfortunately, it was right into the leather of Luke Devaney at second. If he can get that a little bit more to the right or a little bit more to the left, he's got himself a base hit. First pitch he sees, just inside with the fastball, 1-0. Parente and Greenfield have been going back and forth all season on who leads the team in walks. Parente, of course, has almost an everyday part of the team in the lineup. However, Greenfield, one of the most patient guys in the Riptide lineup, on the entire Riptide roster, in fact, and that's why he's near the top of the team in that category. He'll take 3 pitches. He'll get to 2 strikes before he even thinks about swinging. Patience is a virtue not many have, and Greenfield, one of those players who proves that if you take more pitches, you can get a good bat going. That's what Greenfield's done all season. He's finally starting to find his stroke, and he might be a valuable asset for the team come playoffs. But the Foresters, as I was talking about the playoffs, look for a long time that the scene was set. Parente takes second. He'll get that easily. He tries heading for third, and he's going to slide. The throw will not be in time. He slides around the third baseman, O'Reilly. So he gives O'Reilly a little bit of his own medicine. So O'Reilly back in the top of the third, slid around the second baseman Gomez for a double. The throw was in time, and it looked to be the exact same situation, but this time the tables were turned. Parente slides around O'Reilly, and I'm not sure how you score that. A wild pitch and a stolen base, but he was taken off at the same time. Let's just call it 2 stolen bases to boost his stats. 3-1 is the count right now to Greenfield. Looking to drive in that runner at third. 2-0, the Legends lead. He pops this one up. That won't do it. It's very shallow, still on the infield. Devaney coming in. He makes the catch to retire the first man of the bottom of the fourth. 1 away. Parente's got good speed. Sort of bluffed off. Took 2 steps off at third, but I don't know if he's that fast. He's not the Flash. Dominic Fletcher will come up with 1 on and 1 gone. Only 90 feet away from bringing home that first run. Of course, Tiger Peterson not here once again. He will be back in time for playoffs. That's what everybody is assuming. Currently at his cousin's wedding. First pitch to Fletcher. Down low with a fastball, 1-0. The last spot in the CCL playoffs being fought over by Parente. Tries to steal home. Had a big jump. And it looked like Savage was trying to go out of the windup. Parente saw that. Just having a little bit of fun there. Sort of taking off. He's having a little bit of jabs with Glenn Walker there. But Savage, very aware of Parente, immediately taking off. Just sort of threw. It didn't finish his entire motion. The 1-0. Fastball across the knees, 1-1. So no more a chance for that run to come across. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. It'll have to be some other way to get that first run. Fletcher lines it out into left field, moving toward the line. He's not going to get there in time. The throw goes into second. A strong throw, but it's offline. Fletcher will not be tagged out. Connor Montgomery, the throw was offline to the left. Second baseman Devaney couldn't field it cleanly, and Fletcher, we've seen him do that in other situations where the ball gets away into no man's territory and he takes another base. But a nice backup there from Jake Sahagian, the first baseman, kept Fletcher from doing that. He did it yesterday, so maybe they learned a thing or two about Fletcher's base running tendencies. But that puts a man in scoring position with 2 outs for Logan Polson. Riptide seemingly finding some sort of way to get to Savage after 3 innings of not really getting anything. The only time they were able to get somebody on base was Mitch Andrews, a single to lead off the bottom of the third. Of course, he would get caught trying to take second to end the inning. First pitch to Polson was a fastball, ends up down low, 1-0. Polson, the Hawaii Warrior. 1-0 is the count. Savage kicks and fires a fastball off the outside of the plate, 2-0. Polson struck out his last time, one of 3 strikeouts for Savage. That was a little bit of a questionable call. It looked to be a fastball that was a couple inches off the outside. Polson didn't like the call, so he'll look to change his fortune here. Swings and misses at a fastball that would have been ball 3, but it's still 2-1. We're still in the hitter's advantage. So Parente tried to get 3 stolen bases in 1 trip around. That's not something you hear every day, but couldn't happen for him. Would have come across on the Fletcher double, but instead it's still a 2-0 deficit. And who knows, 1 run might not be the whole thing, but 1 run can come around and haunt you in the later stages of the ball game. 3-1 is the count to Polson, who took that last pitch, a slider that stayed outside. The 3-1 delivery from Savage. Swung on and popped foul out of play. 3-2 counts full. Coming into today, Polson had an average of .333, and a lot of that has to do with how he did yesterday. 2 hits. Here's a high fly ball. Pop up to the right of first base. Sahagian over toward the Legends dugout will make the catch and retire the side. So the Riptide get 2 men in scoring positions at differing times. It sounds a little confusing. Just go back on the YouTube channel. You can check it out and see exactly what happened. But no runs come across. Still a 2-0 lead for the Legends as we head to the top of the 5th. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. So a new pitcher in for the Riptide coming in to face the pitcher for the Legends, Scott Savage. It's Caleb Killian. Killian from Texas Tech, Flower Mound High School, one of the more than a couple Riptide players from Flower Mound, Texas. And Caleb Killian, he's going to try to go through the 5th. 4 innings for Juan Cortina, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 walk. In line for a loss right now, but the Riptide offense, as potent as it is, I can assure you they will get some runs across. They've only been shut out once this entire season. It was the very first game of CCL play, a 2-0 loss to the Arroyo Seco Saints. The 0-1 fastball across the knees, 0-2. Savage struck out his last time up on 3 pitches against Cortina, 3 fastballs pretty much in the same location. Bat never left his shoulder. So he swung at the first pitch he saw, fouled it off to the right side. It's 0-2 right now. Killian kicks and fires another fastball. This one's lined out in the right center, very high, very deep, over the green field. Over the head, but he makes the nice catch. A 5-star catch from Aaron Greenfield. That's something you put on your reel, everybody. Greenfield saved a leadoff extra bagger. for the first out of the inning. Killian, an all-star for the Riptide, actually started the CCL All-Star game, gave up 2 runs. That game was a Riptide showcase. They had the starter, they had the MVP, they had the backup MVP. Just really strutted their stuff. They might have even had the backup MVP. Bo Phillip had an RBI triple and would come across the score as well. And, of course, the other 2 I'm talking about are David Miranda, who won the MVP after a 2-run homer, and Joey Parente, who had the game-winning run on his home run. The 2 of them shared the MVP award on Instagram. David Miranda posting a picture with the 2 of them holding the MVP trophy saying co-MVPs, so 2 of them being good sports about it, and that's good teammates, everybody. 1-1 is the count right now to the top of the lineup, Grant Gamble. Gamble has reached base twice today. Once via single, once via walk. Took the 1-1 pitch. It's 2-1 now. Killian had a very good first 2 starts for the Riptide. First one was at home, and I was like, there's this new guy coming in, not sure how he's going to be, and he absolutely showed me everything he had. He was absolutely spectacular. And I came up to him, and I was like, you're going to be an amazing asset, of course, all-star. Last 2 starts have not been quite the same. He struggled over the last 2, trying to find his early season form. He gives a breaking ball, swung on and missed by Gamble. First strikeout for Killian. So Cortina had 6. Killian with 1 now. 7th strikeout of the game against the Legends, but they're up 2-0. 2 outs now for Giovanni Garbella, the right fielder. Garbella 1 for 2 on the day. Last time lined out, very well struck. A nice play by Parente out in the 8th spot. A good read and a good jump. That's what they always say when you're in the little leagues. Of course, I never played in the leagues. I played in something called pony ball. But let's not worry about that right now. They always tell you to take a couple steps back as soon as you see a fly ball. That's what Parente did. It was very well struck, so it looked like it was going to be maybe a little bit farther than it was, and then he came rushing in, took about 6 steps, and was able to get the hard line drive before it fell, and stranded Gamble at second for the moment. So a nice play. Hasn't seen much of center field since Fletcher came to the team. But it looks like he's picked it up right where he left off. Parente gets a little bit of work in center once again as that one gets lined right back up the middle into the 46 hole. 5th hit of the game for the Legends. Garbella is on with 2 outs for the 3 spot, Richie O'Reilly. O'Reilly, an RBI double. 1 for 2. Grounded out to Connor Beck his first time up, and Beck, of course, tagged out Gamble. There was 2 men on. First pitch he sees is across the knees, 0-1. Waiting on deck, should O'Reilly reach Jake Sahagian. Sahagian is yet to reach base in this contest. The 0-1 delivery from Killian. Killian eyeing that runner at first. A long pause, he kicks and fires. Fastball outside corner, 0-2. Two outs, 1 on, 2-0. The lead for the Legends. The 0-2 pitch down low. A nice job by Andrews to get his glove around on that. 1-2. Killian's last outing for the Riptide came against the Academy Barons back on the 18th of this month. Swung on and missed by O'Reilly. I'll tell you about his outing when we see him again in the top of the 6th. Well, we're not sure if we're going to see him in the top of the 6th. The Riptide are known for using a lot of pitchers and utilizing that bullpen to its absolute fullest. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 5th on the Orange County Riptide Network. Still looking for their first run of the ballgame. Only 2 runs across against Savage, who is returning out there for his 5th inning of work. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. is going to be 5, 6, 7 against Scott Savage. Bo Phillip, Tate Shaw, and Mitch Andrews are going to try to get the first run across. Only 2 hits, I should say, have come against Savage. One by Andrews and one by Fletcher. That double by Fletcher would have scored a run, but Parente tried to take home, tried to be all flashy. First pitch, a breaking ball on the outside corner, 0-1. Phillip, 0 for 1 on the day. Flew out to Garbella. His first time up here. He lines one to the right through the hands of Marcus Pointer. First base coach today. 0-2 to Phillip. Phillip, one of the All-Stars for the Riptide. Riptide sending the most people to that All-Star game, 7 in total. 5 on the offensive end, and 2 pitching, Caleb Killian and Parker Joe Robinson. Swung on a miss by Phillip, so a good morning, good afternoon, and good night against Bo Phillip sends down the first hitter of the bottom of the 5th, 1 away for Tate Shaw. So Tate Shaw will come up now. 4 strikeouts on the day for Savage. Shaw 281 average with 4 doubles and a triple, as well as 12 RBIs. Riptide lead the CCL in runs scored. They also have the most players with more than 10 RBIs. They have 11. Savage kicks to the lefty Shaw. Changeup down low, 2-0. The 2-0 delivery from Savage. Fastball across the knees, 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th right now. 2 runs came in the top of the 3rd. A 2-out rally, dare I say, by the Legends. The 2-1 pitch, a check swing from Shaw. Good forearm strength, holds it back up, 3-1. The 3-1 delivery is popped up, moving back out toward the stands. Looks like it's going to get out of play, but instead, Barham over toward the backstop, trying to make sure he doesn't run into the wall. He cannot make the catch. Count goes full. The 2 runs across in the 3rd came both with 2 outs. A double by Richie O'Reilly and a nice slide around. Scored the first run, Grant Gamble from second. And then O'Reilly came around to score on a single by the next man up, Jake Sahagian. 3-2 pitch is down low and away. Looked like a 2-seamer. Good take from Shaw. He'll head on down to first. Second walk of the game. Shaw, 6 steals. That's another category that the Riptide lead the CCL in, stolen bases. Of course, Bo Phillip and Joey Parente coming into today, 3rd and 4th in the CCL in that category, with 15 and 14 respectively. Only people ahead of them are John Ballard and Bryce Nagata. Nagata from the Healdsburg Prune Packers, 1st in the CCL right now. He has 19. First pitch to Andrews. Andrews is 1 for 2. He's 1 for 1, I'm sorry. Took the first pitch, a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. Check over there on Shaw. Shaw dancing a little bit, but gets back in safely after getting a little dirty. 1 out. Bottom of the 5th, 2-0 lead for the Riptide, for the Legends. Another check there, back-to-back. That seems like what Savage has been doing. Every time he's thrown over there, he's thrown back almost immediately. It happened to Parente, now to Shaw. So we'll see if that tends to be the case as we get farther along in the game. The 0-1. Shaw takes off. The throw is down low, and Barham bobbles it and will not have any sort of throw to try to get Shaw. So a man is in scoring position with 1 out. Andrew, somebody who's gotten the Savage on the day, been able to get good wood and find a hole, is up at the plate, has an opportunity to drive in the first run of the ball game for the Riptide. One is the count. Savage toes the rubber and fires. Down low, 2-1. On deck is Connor Beck. Unless some sort of weird double play happens, he'll have an opportunity to drive in another run. Stolen base from Shaw has him in scoring position. He's dancing off of second, a big lead. The 2-1 pitch is a slider outside. 3-1, we're in the hitter's count. Good patience from Andrews. Andrews normally one of the more aggressive hitters on the Riptide team. He loves that fastball high and away. Has a tendency to chase that. Fortunately for us, it's not on the scouting report. But something he's worked on. He's worked on his patience, his ability to get more solid contact. Fouls this one off, straight back, 3-2. He's gotten much better. You can see the progression from Andrews throughout this summer. In just the 2 months he's been on the Riptide, he's been able to cut down his whiff rate. And that goes to show why he's been able to come back from that 1 for 14 to start off the season to get an average above 300. Coming in today, 298, and I assume with the hit, he's moved that back above 300. He's straddling that line right now, and that'd be a great thing to put on your resume and a great thing for MLB scouts to see. Here he lines this one very hard. That's going to fall. They're going to send Shaw around third. The throw home is offline. Shaw will score, and in the meantime, Andrews will take second. So the 2 for 2 day for Andrews, and an RBI cuts that lead in half for the Legends. He swaps places with Shaw, and now Connor Beck will come up with a man still in scoring position and a 1-run deficit. So Connor Beck coming up to the plate now. Beck, one of 2 Becks in the CCL. The only other man with that last name is Justin Beck for the San Luis Obispo Blues. And we learned the other day there's actually a third Beck, but he is a pitcher. And that pitching Beck has actually gone on to face both Becks at some point. Beck lines this one into right center field. That one's going to reach the wall. Mitch Andrews will come around to score. And another swapped places. I'm not sure. Are we on the HGTV show swapping places, or are we at the Riptide ball game? Because 3 straight hitters have come on, got to second, and they have just swapped places. 2 runs have come across now. They've tied this ball game back up, 2-2 now in the bottom of the 5th. An RBI double for Connor Beck drives in Mitch Andrews, and now Paul Gomez, number 9 spot, has an opportunity to do the same thing here. Defense lined up fairly straight away. The first baseman, Jake Sahagian, lined up fairly close to the line. The throw is offline, trying to pick off Beck, and he will take third. So Savage, after getting through 4 very strong innings, only allowing 2 hits, has only recorded 1 out here in the 5th, and the bullpen is empty for the Legends. Showing a lot of faith in his starter, saying it is his inning. Gomez swings at the first pitch he sees, a slider, and fouls it straight back. 0-1. Gomez struck out his last time. Only saw 4 pitches before Savage got him swinging. The newest member of the University of Missouri Tiger squad joined the SEC along with several other Riptide players. The 0-1. Another breaking ball line straight at Davini, who looked like Mario with a little hop there and make the catch. Hop, skip, and a jump to out number 2. Joey Parente will come up now, top of the lineup, trying to get his team the lead. 2-2, both of those runs coming in the bottom of the 5th. It was a 2-0 lead for the Legends after the top of the 3rd. The Riptide have clawed back 3 doubles to tie it up. First pitch, down low, 1-0. Excuse me, it was not 3 doubles. It was a walk to Tate Shaw and a stolen base that put him on second base. But 2 straight doubles were able to switch places a couple times and tie it up. High and deep to left center field. Looks like Gamble has a beat, and he will make the catch out in no man's land to retire the side. So Parente gives it a ride, but can't drive in Beck from third. Stays a 2-2 ball game. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Riptide. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Legends. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network as we head to the 6th. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the University of Concordia Irvine. We're in the top of the sixth now. Riptide able to tie it up in the last half inning. And now Caleb Killian looking to keep it tied, possibly get the win in this one. He's facing a tough Legends lineup. First pitch from Killian in his second inning of work. Fouled off, 0-1. Jake Sahagian swings at the first pitch as he sees. It's going to be 4-5-6. Sahagian, Barham, and Chan. Meat of the lineup. Caleb Killian kicks and fires the 0-1, lined back into center field, moving back on this Parente out toward the warning track. He makes the catch after a couple steps back and a couple steps to the right. First out of the inning. Two teams sort of at different ends of the spectrum in terms of their season. Both of these teams can sort of relax because the Riptide have officially clinched the playoff spot after yesterday's win. And the Legends, out of the playoffs, officially eliminated. So the two of them can sort of sit back and just sort of enjoy the game of baseball as it was intended. First pitch, low and outside corner, 0-1. And I was actually talking to some of the players on a couple of the other teams who have been eliminated. And I asked them, does it feel different when you're on a team that has a chance for a great season versus when you're on a team that gets eliminated very early on? And they say, it feels almost no different because you know that even when you're on a losing team, it's your job to make havoc for the teams at the top, the teams that are still worried and still trying to impress and still trying to get into the playoffs. It's your job to cause nightmares and get them out of the playoffs. You want as many people to not go to the playoffs as you, but according to them, it never feels like you're not a playoff team because everybody's still working as hard as they can. But they're just having a little bit more fun with it, and they say that actually helps a lot of the teams. 2-2 is the count right now. Barham fouled off the last pitch. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, looking to avoid that sombrero. Caleb Killian looking to give it to him. The 2-2 from Killian. Kicks and fires. A fastball on the inside corner. Grab some pine, Barham. 2 outs now. So Zach Chan will come up to the plate now. Chan, not a typical third baseman. He's at short today, but yesterday we saw him at third. And I'm not quite sure where he normally plays, but I had to ask a couple people, and they say he's normally a second baseman, shortstop. And it was pretty apparent. Yesterday made a couple of key errors, just sort of olayed, couldn't catch a pop-up. First pitch to him, 0-1 after the fastball reached the inside part of the plate. But Chan back at his normal position. Hasn't really had a lot of work, but looking pretty good. Fouls the 0-1 pitch off to the left side, right in front of the third base coach, 0-2. Killian came in the top of the fifth for Cortina. Cortina gave up 2 across 4. 2 runs on 4 hits. Did pretty well to limit the Legends. Had 2 very strong innings in those 4. The 0-2, they're going to say it's just low. Some of the Riptide players started walking off the field. You could tell that Killian thought it was strike 3, but instead has to pitch another one. Chan stays alive. A great eye. I would have swung at that one. 1-2. Another breaking ball fouled off by Chan. He stays alive. Killian loves to use that breaking ball. That is his strikeout pitch. It's a big hammer. Breaks to the outside against righties, and he has good back foot action against lefties. The 1-2 from Killian once again. There's another breaking ball. This time it's down low. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So number 21, Zach Chan. Chan came into today. 211 average, only 1 extra base hit. Came a couple weeks ago. 6 RBIs. For a close to everyday player, Zach Chan actually toward the bottom of the team in terms of strikeouts. And we're seeing that he has battled his way to a full count. The 3-2 pitch, the payoff, fastball just low, and there we see the battling capabilities from Zach Chan. He extends the inning as he will take a leisurely stroll on down the first via the walk. So now Connor Montgomery, the catcher turned outfielder, will step up now. Montgomery, yet to reach base today, 150 average for the Legends. No extra base hits, 2 RBIs. In his 20 at-bats, he struck out 5 times, so does have a tendency to swing and miss. Killian looking for that right now. First pitch he sees down low. Nice block by Andrews. It was in the dirt. A nice job from him just trying to pick it off the dirt. Got some glove on it. Kept the runner at first base. Not a big leadoff for Chan. Only a couple steps off. Another fastball, pretty much same place. Nice job by Andrews once again, 2-0. Two to two. 2 runs in the 5th by the Riptide to tie it up. Hard hit out in the right center field. Parente gets called off by Greenfield, who will make the catch and retire the side. The throw back into second. Not quite how he wanted. Took 4 hops before getting there. Just sort of held on to it a little bit long. So they allow 1. And they leave him on there, but it doesn't come around to harm him. 2-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Riptide looking to take their first lead of the ball game when we return on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. We're in the bottom of the 6th here at the University of Concordia, Irvine. Aaron Greenfield will come up. It's going to be 2-3-4. Greenfield made a nice play out in the right field to end the inning. First pitch he sees is a breaking ball, ends up outside 1-0. Greenfield walked his last time up. The 1-0 pitch, outside corner, 1-1 with a fastball. So a story I like to tell about Greenfield is back when he was younger, there was a popular show on called Sports Science. Ground ball out towards short. A nice play. He makes the catch and retires the speedy Greenfield. A phenomenal play by Luke DeVenny, who has switched spots with Zach Chan. 2 middle infielders swapping locations, and the first man is retired. Looked like it was going to be a base hit, but a phenomenal play and a hop, skip, and a jump over the first. Retires Greenfield. So Dominic Fletcher will come up with one out and nobody on. And the bullpen is all of a sudden going for the Legends. I'll let you know who it is as soon as we get word, but it is another righty. Savage deals to Fletcher. Ball comes up off the glove of Barham into the face of the umpire. Takes off his mask, seems to be all right. Looks like he's laughing it off. After a little check, I'm no doctor, but it looks like he's all right. 1-0 is the count. Fletcher doubled back in the 4th. Would have driven Parente. But Parente got thrown out trying to swipe a bag. And I mentioned that 1 run might not be a big deal, but the 1 run might come into play. Fletcher did not come around to score on that double. 2-0 is the count right now. Fletcher from the University of Arkansas led all SEC freshmen in home runs. Another nice play by DeVenny, just sort of snagging it out of the air. Makes the throw on the first in time to retire Fletcher. 2 gone. I just realized I never finished a story about Greenfield. But there was a show on when we were younger. It was called Sports Science, and they took a bunch of regular people and they saw how they could do against professional athletes, sort of broke it down to a science, looking at rotations of the baseball, if we're just talking about baseball, looking at how a baseball is harder to hit versus a wiffle ball, or if that was the case, Logan Poulsen up to the plate takes a breaking ball up high 1-0. And Aaron Greenfield was actually a part of one of those episodes. It was a show that was trying to test the rotations on the baseball on the curveball fouled off by Poulsen 1-1 of a young kid versus a professional major league pitcher. And of course the rotations were much greater for a major league pitcher. And Greenfield didn't turn out to be a pitcher anyway, sitting in the outfield. He's actually spent a couple innings at second base as well for the Riptide. But yeah, Greenfield was part of that, and he pitched to his friend who was catching for him. And he said, the one thing I remember about that day was how hot it was in the warehouse. And I think that's an ESPN show. They should keep everybody cool. Ground ball out to second base. Chan makes the play and tosses on to first to retire the side. So 3 up, 3 down for Savage. That might be the last we see of him, but a very strong start for him. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Riptide. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Legend. Still a tie ball game as we head to the top of the 7th on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. New pitcher in for the Riptide, Jeff Cross, will take the helm in relief of Caleb Killian, who went 2 strong innings after relieving Juan Cortina, the starter, in this 2-2 ball game. So Jeff Cross looking to keep it tied. Only appeared in 2 other games for the Riptide, and they came back-to-back on the 8th and 9th of this month, both against the Academy Barons. Looking at a better team record-wise, and we'll see how he does. First pitch to Luke DeVenny is fouled off to the left side. A little dribbler, actually more of a chopper. 0-1. DeVenny yet to reach base. The 0-1 pitch. A very slow changeup. Fouled off to the right side. Nice job by DeVenny to not be out in front of that one. That's some I'd be way out in front of. I would have swung at that and had time to go buy dinner before that reached the plate. The 0-2 delivery from Cross. There's a breaking ball in between the legs of Andrews. Andrews has been very good at defending that 5-hole all season. But that time, a little bit of difficulty. No harm, no foul. Nobody's on base. Could have just let it go by him if he wanted to. Didn't have to try to block it. It's 1-2 now. Looking to keep it a tie game. Pretty much even. Here's a ground ball out to the third base. Connor Beck takes a couple steps to his left, and a strong throw on the first will retire Devaney. 1 away. So now the pitcher will come up, Scott Savage. We saw the bullpen for the Legends warming up, but Scott Savage is at the plate, so we'll see if he actually stays in the next inning. Cross's last outing on the 9th. When the inning saw 7 batters, but only gave up 1 run, so he did a nice job limiting power. Ground ball out to third. Pulls Polson off the bag, but he makes the tag against Savage. So Connor Beck sees 2 ground balls. They're working in there, trying to make sure he can play third, in fact. And a nice job by him on both of those. Made one ranging play over to his left and cut off the shortstop. Knew he didn't have a lot of time, so had to make that play. And a nice throw on retired Luke Devaney, who has good speed. And right there, of course, every now and again it's going to happen where you're going to make an errant throw, but it wasn't too far off base, and Polson just applied the tag very easily and recorded the out. So Beck doing a nice job over there at the hot corner. The 1-0 pitch is lined into right field. Greenfield not going to be able to get to that, so a one-hopper. Grant Gamble is on for the 3rd time. 2 singles and a walk now. So now Giovanni Garbella will come up with 2 outs and a man on. This would be a good opportunity for Gamble to show off his wheels and try to swipe a bag. And it looks like the defense is thinking the same thing. Second baseman Paul Gomez lined up very close to second base. Should Garbella decide to try the arm of Andrews, which is never a smart thing to do. First pitch inside, 1-0. That's another thing that the Riptide have been very good at. Near the top of the CCL in terms of batters thrown out, potential base stealers thrown out. Trying to swipe a bag. It's thrown out just over 50% of potential base stealers. Cooper Ewell a big part of that, and of course Andrews has done well. Only catcher who has spent time behind the plate and has not caught a potential base stealer is Jake Polshin, who has actually only seen 2 and gone 0 for 2. 2-0 down low. 3-0. Giovanni Garbella can afford to be very selective here. Gamble has not shown any signs of taking off, and with a 3-0 count, I don't think we're going to see him steal at this point. Waiting on deck, Richie O'Reilly, the 3 spot. Garbella, the righty. Cross. Kicks and fires a changeup inside corner, 3-1. Looked like he was possibly taking all the way there. I'm a big fan of 3-ball changeups. When you're in a 3-ball count, everybody's expecting the fastball. So they're looking fastball, waiting for something hard. You throw them a changeup, and a lot of the time, they're way out in front. You cause a lot of soft contact or swings over the top. I love 3-ball changeups. There was a fastball that was just fouled off the end of the bat by Garbella. Moves it to a full count, so a nice job by Cross to get 2 in there and make it a full count from 3-0. Waiting on deck. O'Reilly, the man on first. Grant Gamble, 2-2 ball game. Looking to end the inning right here. Jeff Cross in his first inning of work. Got 2 quick outs and surrendered a single. Gamble takes off, as he does, and when it's 3-2 and 2 outs, Garbella takes a fastball down low, and there's going to be 2 on, 2 outs for O'Reilly. Richie O'Reilly, one of the all-stars for the Long Beach Legends, took a couple of at-bats in that all-star game. No hits. So Cross found himself in a little bit of 2-out trouble. 2-out single by Gamble and a 2-out walk to Garbella. Has men at first and second. A high fly ball out into right center field. Parente's starting to come in. He's not chasing it. Greenfield has it. Showing a lot of trust in his teammates. This side is retired. We head to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time, everybody. Get your yoga mats out. 2-2 ball game. Very close. We might be here a while on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. 5'6", due up against Scott Savage, who returns out there once again. So he is in for a very quality start, working in his 7th inning. We'll see if he gets out of it. But Bo Phillip is going to be the first man up, and they're looking to break that tie. That tie ever since the bottom of the 5th, when there was a series of doubles that tied up this ball game after the top of the 3rd, allowed 2 runs for the Legends. First pitch to Phillip was outside, 1-0. Phillip has yet to reach base. The Gold Glove shortstop has been flashy in the field all season, looking to cause a little bit of fireworks at the plate right now. As I've mentioned, the Healdsburg Prune Packers currently hold a half-game lead over the Riptide, so the Riptide looking to win this and possibly go into the playoffs in first place. The Prune Packers have 2 games left on their schedule. And after today, the Riptide will as well. The Riptide will head to the Long Beach City College tomorrow before getting 2 days off, and facing the Ventura Halos in their final game of the season. And before the game tomorrow, the Riptide will actually be making up a game that was not able to be finished earlier in the year. So it's possibly 3 games, depending on how you look at it. 3 games left for the Riptide this season. 3-2 is the count to Phillip. Phillip from San Joaquin Delta Junior College. The payoff pitch from Savage, fouled off. We'll do it all over again. .316 average coming in today, only 1 home run. That's something about the Riptide. They have not had a lot of home run potential in their lineups. In fact, besides Dominic Fletcher, who's near the top of the CCL leaderboards in that category, as Phillip fouls it out of play once again to the right side. I'm glad it missed the stands. That sound when it hits the stands, that long, lingering sound of hard hits on metal. I don't like it. But just to the right of the stands. So we'll do 3-2, take 2. But the Riptide have not had a lot of home run power. Fletcher, 6 home runs on the year, lined into center field, a base hit for Phillip. 1 on, nobody out. Phillip leads the Riptide in stolen bases, so we might see him go here. Actually, he led until Joey Parente stole 2 bases in his only time on base, so maybe he looks to get back to the top in a tie for first. Parente now with 16 on the season, Phillip sitting at 15. Fletcher with 6 home runs. Next closest, David Miranda and a couple others have 2. But they are actually in the middle of the pack in terms of power in the CCL. It just goes to show that it hasn't been their ability to hit home runs with men on base. It's been their ability to consistently get hits back-to-back and drive in runners. They are run manufacturers. They should start a company. First pitch, second pitch, I should say, outside to Shaw, 2-0. They've been able to just rely on one another to drive each other home, and that's a lot of the reason why they've been able to score so many runs. They have such a tough lineup to get out all the way throughout. No matter who they put out there, Jackson Williams, Paul Gomez, Tate Shaw, Connor Beck, Aaron Greenfield, Mitch Andrews, Jake Polshin, does not matter. They have one of the most potent offenses up and down their entire roster. 2-1 pitch is taken. A slider goes across the plate, 2-2 to Shaw. Waiting on deck, Mitch Andrews, the 7 spot. Phillip has not shown any signs of taking off, not really leaning any sort of way. A short lead over at first. There he does take off. The throw is not in time. Got a phenomenal jump off of first. That's a lot of the times what you'll see from him and Parente taking off before the pitcher even starts their motion. It's risky, but they have been very good at it. They read the pitchers very well. Between the two of them, they've actually only been caught once stealing. Parente got caught very early on in the year. So it just goes to show they might be taking the risk, but they know the game well. Shaw swings and fouls it to the left side. Count remains full, 3-2. No one out, 2-2 ball game. Looking to take their first lead of the contest. They were down 2-0 at the top of the third, tied it up in the bottom of the fifth. Savage kicks and fires a slider down low. Good take from Shaw. So the 3-2 turns into a walk 2 men will be on and nobody out for Mitch Andrews. Andrews has 2 hits in this ball game. Both of them singles. Actually took second on one of his singles. Was able to swap places and drive in the first run of the contest. And he drove in Tate Shaw back in the 5th. First run of the contest for the Riptide. So if he can do that here, you got possibly the best wheels on the team at standing at second. If he can get something in the gap, Tate Shaw, pretty fast as well. First pitch he sees, he lines it straight to left field. A nice catch there by Montgomery. Hit it very hard, but pretty much straight at him. Just had to take 2 steps to his left to retire Andrews. 1 will be out, and 2 will be on. So Connor Beck will come up. Connor Beck doubled in Mitch Andrews back in the 5th. That was to right center. I'm not sure if you can see it on the stream, but in right center field, there's a big baseball out on the wall. Pretty much hit it right at that E that you see there. First pitch from Savage, a slider went across the entire zone, ended up on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Beck looking to drive in that runner from second. Would give them the lead. 2-2 ball game. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Phillip, a big lead. Looked like he might be thinking about trying to take third. That's what he does. He gets off to a big lead and takes off before the pitcher starts. Nice job by him to get back and not test the pickoff move of Savage, who he's shown has been pretty good. Here's a ground ball out toward third. Out of the reach of O'Reilly. Phillip is heading around third. He will score. It's cut off by O'Reilly. So a single by Connor Beck drives in the 3rd run of the ball game for the Riptide. They now lead 3-2. They have now tied up the Legends in hits as well. That was the 6th hit of the ball game for the Riptide. And now it looks like the Legends are going to bring in a new pitcher. And in fact, they will. We'll let you know who it is when we come back on the Orange County Riptide Network. They've taken the lead. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Stay tuned. So the new pitcher in for the Long Beach Legends is Charles Carr, and he looks to keep this a 1-run ball game. Very strong start for Scott Savage. 6 1/3, 3 runs on 6 hits. Very strong through the first 3 frames. Since then, a little bit of trouble. What can you expect? You're going to get tired at some point. So Carr will look to get through these final 2/3 of the 6th with the lead intact. 2 runners are inherited. The runner at second is Tate Shaw, and the runner at first is Connor Beck. Shaw took off there, but it's fouled off by Gomez. 1-1. Carr comes in today a 6.60 ERA in his 9 games, 0-1 on the season. He's given up 15 runs, only 11 of them earned. One thing about him, he gives up a lot of walks and a lot of hits, but not a lot of extra base hits. So if the Riptide are able to get good contact on, they should be able to string some together, make a couple of nice plays. O'Reilly takes a couple steps to his left in the dirt, dug out nicely by Sahagian. So they get the man at first, Paul Gomez, but 2 men go into scoring position for the top of the lineup, Joey Parente. So Parente leading the team in walks, but not looking for that here. They might be trying to pitch around him. However, Parente has only reached base once via the walk earlier in the game. So maybe they don't want to try Aaron Greenfield despite having the lower batting average. They might try to attack Parente. Parente swings a big, healthy hack, a yuckadoo hack perhaps, and a changeup down below the knees, 0-1. Parente, a very aggressive hitter, likes to swing at the first pitch he sees, but it's not his aggression that allows him to walk. It's actually just his intimidation, I think. Joey Parente loves to swing at the first pitch he sees, finds himself in a lot of 0-2 counts, but is able to work his way back from that. His ability to battle and his ability to force pitchers to make mistakes against him allows him to reach base. Leads the team in on-base percentage. Fastball low, 2-1. 316 average coming into today. And despite what you may think with his speed, no triples on the year. 3-1 is the count. First base is empty. If Parente should walk, a Greenfield would come up with the bases loaded. 3-2, the Riptide lead. Here's a ground ball out to the first baseman, Sahagian. He can't get it. It's a race to the first base, and Parente will beat Carr. An infield single drives in Tate Shaw. It's a 4-2 lead for the Riptide. So now Aaron Greenfield will come up. Runners at the corners. We'll see if any 31 tomfoolery or mischievousness goes on. Parente, good speed. It's very likely we'll see him go, possibly on the first pitch here. Not a big lead. We might see some fielders' indifference as well. Parente does go. The throw down to second. And Beck does not try to take home. Parente will get back into first safely, and now they have Beck in the pickle. They're going to try to tag Beck, and they do get him. Richie O'Reilly will make the final tag. So I'm not sure how you put that in your scorebook. I don't know if you have enough space on your entire page, but what I do know is that's the final out of the bottom of the 7th. Not before 2 runs come across, and the Riptide take their first lead of the ball game. They now lead 4-2 on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned for the top of the 8th. We'll be right back. Four to two, the Riptide lead. We're in the top of the 8th here at the University of Concordia Irvine. 2-0 was the score in the Legends' favor back in the third, and since then it's been all Riptide. 2 runs in the fifth and 2 runs in the seventh. Give them the lead. Jeff Cross returns out to the mound. First pitch seen is swung on and fouled off to the left side by Jake Sahagian, So the first baseman is down 0-1. Cross, one of those pitchers that lives a little bit more up in the zone. It's not that he likes to pitch down in the zone, just a lot of the time he tends to have his pitches reach upward. The ground ball goes off the glove of Polson. It would have been a tough play either way. Sahagian has good speed. That's why he plays outfield every now and again. But there will be 1 on and no one gone here in the top of the 8th. Looking to hold on to that 2-run lead. Jeff Cross not looking to give it up. But a lot of the time, Cross, in his outings, you'll see a lot more fly balls. And against a team with less power like the Legends, it's actually very effective, especially when you have good fielders like the Riptide do. First pitch, fastball across the outside part of the play. Robbie Barham takes a strike, 0-1. But now he'd love a ground ball. It's either the shortstop or second baseman or even third baseman be a little bit tougher. Barham not the fastest, so it would be semi-easy to double him up. The hammer ends up high above the zone, 2-1. 1-1, excuse me. Sahagian being held on by Polson. The 1-1. Fastball across the knees, 1-2. I was talking to Glenn Walker yesterday about whether or not there were going to be a couple more opportunities for players that hadn't seen the field a lot over the past couple of games or for the course of the entire season. Sahagian takes off, but it's fouled off to the left side. A little dribbler makes it about 2/3 of the way up to third base. Count remains 1-2. Sahagian will head back to first. And I was talking to Glenn, and he said, well, yeah, the most important thing is going to be getting everybody good opportunities when we can just relax and just enjoy the game before the playoffs. But he said we're still fighting for that number 1 spot. Pickoff attempt there, down low. Nice job by Polson to keep it in front of him and not allow Sahagian to take second. We've already seen one errant pickoff throw by Scott Savage. I was trying to get Connor Beck, who was leading off from second. And, of course, Beck would move to third on that and would come around to score eventually. After a double, Barham swings and fouls this one off to the right side, out of play. Barham has struck out 3 times today, already has the sombrero, looking to avoid the golden sombrero. 1-2. Cross has him in a good advantage right now. No outs and a man on first, 4-2, the Riptide lead. Top of the 8th inning, not a lot of time left for the Legends. Looking to cut into that deficit right now. Pitch out there. Second pitch out we've seen. Andrews a little bit worried that Sahagian might be taken off. Count's even. Good time to call that. Head of the count. Attacking a hitter that's already struck out 3 times today. Of course, none of those coming against Cross. But possibly history may repeat itself. Cross deals. It's a ground ball back to Cross. Not going to have any play at second as it goes off his glove, so he has to throw on to first to retire Barham. But meanwhile, Sahagian moves up to second, and they have a man in scoring position with 1 away. So Zach Chan has an opportunity with a man at second. Jake Sahagian, great speed, but you have good arms across the outfield. I have to think the best arm is in center, and Joey Parente. Tate Shaw has also shown it off a couple times. He has a great arm as well, so maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen velocity. I haven't put a radar gun on any of them. But Shaw does lead the team in outfield assists. Swung on and missed by Chan. First out, the first strike, 0-1. However, Parente has spent a couple of games, more than a couple of games, almost every game, in right field. And statistically speaking, your best arm goes in right. A big hammer falls across the plate, 0-2 to Chan. Looking for a strikeout or just something, preventing that runner from scoring. They'll let him get to third if they do get an out. The 0-2, another breaking ball. Down below the knees, good take by Chan, 1-2. Chan staying patient, looking to avoid a strikeout. Cross looking for his second. Andrews gives the sign. The pitch down low once again with the breaking ball. 2-2. Construction has more or less stopped here at the University of Concordia Irvine. Out beyond center, we saw a lot of it earlier in the year. You can see trees as far as the eye could see. They're all getting cut down. They're making space for another building. Here's a hard line drive into center. Parente has a beat. He makes a nice running catch for the second out of the inning. But also the parking lot out to the left of the field. That's where everybody used to go. Now everybody has to walk 200 miles to the library. That's how it feels. I'm out of shape, everybody. But I'm getting laughed at a little bit. I deserve it. But so just to the left of the library, out beyond center field, that's where everybody has to park now. And unfortunately, this is the last home game, so we won't get to see the parking lot once again at any point again. But it's more or less stopped, all the construction. I'm sure they're still doing work in both territories. But it's nice to not have to listen to beeps, beeps, and beeps throughout the entire game. You do hear that motorcycle, though. A couple of the cars going by. We are semi-close to a freeway. There's a curveball that gets away from Andrews a little bit. It allows Sahagian to take third, but with 2 outs, not much of a difference. Still looking to just attack that hitter. Connor Montgomery yet to reach base. Cross and just looking to attack him here. Defense lined up exactly straight away. The 1-1 fastball across the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Waiting on deck is Luke DeVenny, and just like Montgomery, he hasn't reached base yet. The 1-2 breaking ball, he seemingly goes there all the time. Sahagian, pretty much halfway down the third base line, thinks better of it. Wasn't too far away from Andrews. Andrews got out of the squat quickly as well and got to it. So Sahagian heads back to third before Andrews could get the ball and throw to third. Connor Beck was covering. Would have been close had Andrews decided to throw, but not trying to risk anything. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The delivery. Grounded, foul. A nice play by Sahagian on the third base line, doing Connor Beck's job for him. So Sahagian just fields it, no glove needed on the base pass. He was in foul territory, so that's not an out. Wouldn't that be a weird way to end an inning? That's not where that'd be the worst way to end an inning if you're Jake Sahagian. Get called out on that. You have to go back. Had a runner at third looking to cut into this deficit. The 2-2. Outside, 3-2, it's full. Montgomery thought about it, but held back. Full count pitch. Swung on and missed by Montgomery. Second time he's gone down via the punch out. Jeff Cross gets out of it, stranding Sahagian at third. We head to the bottom of the 8th. A 4-2 lead for the Riptide on the Orange County Riptide Network. Looking for another win and looking to tie the Healdsburg Prune Packers atop the CCL standings. They'll have one more turn at bat unless they can score in the top of the 9th. But hey, that won't happen, right? We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. So Carr returns out there, pitched 2/3 of an inning. Now looking for his first full inning. He's going to face Aaron Greenfield, Dominic Fletcher, and Logan Polson. First pitch to Greenfield is a fastball taken, but it's across the knees, 0-1. Greenfield, as I've mentioned, he started the past couple of games, really fulfilled his role, took it with pride, and has been a serviceable player off the bench. He's one of the funniest guys on the team, actually. Likes to joke around. Well liked and well loved by everybody in the dugout. I talked about another story of him. It was a game in Santa Barbara, the second game of a 2-game set, a 1-1 home and away between the Santa Barbara Foresters and the Riptide. And Will Tomlinson and Aaron Greenfield were sort of having this game where they could see if Tomlinson could get out and get foul balls that went and hit the backstop before the ball boy could. And every time Will Tomlinson lost, you could hear it from Greenfield just giving him snuff. And he has that sort of connection with everybody on the team, and he's just been a valuable part, great dugout sort of guy. Of course, he's great on the field as well. Very patient. Bat hasn't left his shoulder, but he's worked it to a 3-2 count. And the payoff pitch from Carr. Fastball outside corner taken once again by Greenfield. So first strikeout for Carr, first strikeout on the day against Greenfield, and the first out of this bottom of the 8th. Still a 4-2 lead for the Riptide. Both teams with 7 hits. Pretty much even in the category of base runners and people left on base, but it's just been the Riptide's ability to string them together. A big cut by Fletcher. He even started looking at that ball as if he hit it out. Started walking down. He chased that one. It was low and outside 0-1. Here he pretty much swings the same speed, but it's a nice play by Chan, a backhanded grab, and is able to throw it on the first in time. That's a tough play by Chan. I've talked a little bit about his play at third yesterday. I'd like to apologize. I never like trashing on the player. Chan is a phenomenal player, and of course third is not his normal position. And over at second, that was a phenomenal play to get Fletcher 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Logan Polson up to the plate. Polson has struck out in this game. He fouls off the first pitch he sees very hard and very on a line. And it doesn't matter, couldn't straighten it out. 0-1. And the 0-1 delivery. Fastball inside corner 0-2. Polson looking to avoid another strikeout, looking to extend this inning and extend that lead. Bullpen is going for the Riptide. It's likely that they'll bring somebody in to try to close this one out and get the save. He swings and fouls it off to the left side into the empty parking lot. 0-2 it remains. Very fast-paced game. A lot of it has to do with the pitchers. Scott Savage and Juan Cortina work at faster paces. The two of them you could see. As soon as they got the sign, they were in their wind-up immediately. And, of course, out of the stretch, the two of them working very efficiently, trying to limit base stealers. A lot of them working out a slide step, which shortens up your delivery and makes you move faster to the plate. The 0-2 way inside. Barham tried to stop it. He was set up on the outside part of the plate. Actually ran back and hit the umpire in the foot and bounced directly to the man on deck, Bo Phillip. 1-2. Polson is fouled off 2. And there's actually a correction. It's actually 2-2, so the deuces are wild for Logan Polson. 4-2, the Riptide lead. 2 runs in the 5th, 2 runs in the 7th. And the 2-2. Down low, full count. The full count pitch. Swung on and dribbled to the second baseman, Chan. He has the play and makes the easy soft throw on over the first to retire the side. So nothing doing for the Riptide, but they lead 4-2. Legends are going to have to do what they did back in the third if they want to extend this game. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. So Michael Gates will come out and try to earn his first save of the year for the Riptide. He's going to be facing Luke DeVinny, Scott Savage, and Grant Gamble. So Scott Savage came out of the game pitching-wise, but he's still in as the designated hitter. And that's one of the oddest things I've ever seen. Well, I have seen him once before, being a Giants fan. There was actually a Giants versus A's game at the O.co. So AL type, you have to have the designated hitter. And Madison Bumgarner, being such a phenomenal hitter, they just were like, hey, let's make him the designated hitter. So I've seen him once before, but no other time other than that. 1-1 is the count right now to DeVinny. Michael Gates from USC. Played 4 years at St. Michael's Prep. He's been almost titanium this year. Phenomenal. He gets a swing and a miss there from DeVinny. And you hear a lot of these players, they talk about what they want to do if baseball doesn't work out, and a lot of them talk about business, financial management, stuff along those lines, or something in sports, just not playing baseball. You look at Michael Gates. He wants to be a doctor after he graduates. And, of course, baseball, the ultimate goal for all of these athletes looking to get drafted possibly. But Gates, that's a prideful job to have. That's very hard work, something I'm not sure I could do. But he has put in the work, obviously. And there he puts in the work and gets a strikeout against DeVinny. First batter he sees, he strikes out. So now Scott Savage will come up and face him. Gates has appeared in 3 games prior to this one. First appearance was on the 8th against the Academy Barons, and then two appearances against the SoCal Catch, the 14th and 16th. So he got a week off and now is back at it, trying to earn his first save. He's 1-0 on the year. His last outing faced 7 batters in 2 innings against the Catch. No runs, only 1 hit, got 2 strikeouts. Savage swings the very high breaking ball, lifts it very high, out in right field. He will make the catch and retire the second man of this top of the 9th. Riptide lead 4-2. So Grant Gamble is the last hope for the Long Beach Legends. Michael Gates out of the stretch. Kicks and fires. Looked like a fastball down low in the dirt. Nice job by Andrews to corral it. 1-0. Gamble has been the biggest pain in the Riptide side all day. He's reached base 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. Swings at the second pitch of the at-bat. Fouls it off. Straight back, 1-1. The 1-1 delivery. Swung on. Popped up to the left side. This might be the final out. Connor Beck does the pop-up dance, moves to his left, and makes the catch. For the final out, the Riptide come away with the victory here in the final home game, 4-2 over the Long Beach Legends. They will play tomorrow against this team and look for the season sweep. They are currently 4-0 against the team, and they will look to make it 5-0 tomorrow. One thing I'd like to say, it's been a pleasure to be your broadcaster here on the Orange County Riptide Network. A thank you to everybody on the Riptide staff. Thank you to the Riptide team. Even though I wasn't your first man during the preseason, wasn't here for the preseason, everybody was very accepting of me and very willing to talk to me and become friends with me. I'm very appreciative for what this team has done. Stay tuned for the post-game interviews. Not sure who we'll get, but it's sure to be a good one. Stay tuned to the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. We'll be right back.